So the Chicago Bears just found an unexpected coaching candidate, a guy that I wasn't thinking about personally. And now we have the Bears playing the Seahawks tonight, right? With that, a head coaching candidate, tons of connections to the Seahawks. It's legitimate. He is showing interest in the vacant head coaching job at Hallis Hall, but you might be like, hey, coincidental. But ESPN's Adam Schefter, and I'm going to go straight to ESPN here. He corroborated this. He just reported on Christmas that Pete Carroll, he had an interest in being Chicago's next head coach. So the question that we need to answer, is the interest mutual? And also, should it be mutual? Now, granted, the Bears play the Seahawks tonight. I know, pretty convenient that a rumor comes out with this theme, but the interest, it's definitely true, and I'm going to get more into that. And then also, we're going to go through the injury statuses and what to expect from tonight's game. But you guys know, let's be honest here. Chicago needs an impact head coach. Carroll is one, or at least he was one for a really long time. He led the Seahawks to 9 consecutive winning records, 10 playoff berths, and a Super Bowl title. It's hard to argue with his resume. And now, the next day on Get Up, that's today, Shefty, he further discussed the news of Pete Carroll potentially wanting to being the next coach of the head Chicago Bears. He again said that. And while there's been no communication together from either side, Carroll, he definitely is hoping to get back into coaching. And that's after a season away from the NFL. That's following 14 seasons with the Seattle Seahawks. And this is here straight from Shefty. Well, he is interested in the Chicago Bears job. Now, he has not spoken to the team. The team could talk to him at any point in time. So we'll see whether or not they even go ahead and speak to him. But Pete Carroll, he is clearly interested in returning to the sideline this upcoming season. He is clearly interested in the Chicago Bears job. And now we're talking about acting quickly. We saw Bill Belichick take a year off, go back to coaching. Pete Carroll is interested in doing the exact same thing. So if you look at the decision, it's super tough, right? Chicago, as you know, Chicago has a ton to consider here. Not just the biggest name head coach bringing him into town. Pete Carroll is, in fact, a huge name. But this is about getting the absolute best out of Pete, not out of Pete Carroll, out of Caleb Williams, excuse me. And we've also got younger guys. They're already on staff still. They can't be interviewed right now. And also a guy like Carroll who has tons of experience. So I expect us to cast a really wide net. Let's talk about experience here. Let's talk about who Pete Carroll is as a coach. And this guy's a rarity. He's one of 4 head coaches to have led their teams to both a Super Bowl title and a national championship. I'm going to close this down. The other guys, this is rare company. We're talking Jimmy Johnson, Barry Switzer, Jim Harbaugh. He's also a member of the 2010s all-decade NFL team. And collegiately, man, this record, 97-19, 2 national championships, 4 Rose Bowls. And we're looking at NFL head coaches. They're skewing way younger. I get that. If Carroll were hired, he'd be 7 years older than the current oldest head coach. That's Andy Reid. Although it bears mentioning, Reid's Kansas City Chiefs they're 15-1. They're the defending Super Bowl champions. So age isn't everything, but he's always appeared younger than he is. I didn't think he was that old. He is 73 years old. He's always exhibited just boundless energy, super enthusiastic. And this is a profession that can jade head coaches. And Pete Carroll looked like a spring chicken all through his time with the Seahawks. Now we're looking at the Bears competing for services. We're one of at least 3 teams right now, New Orleans Saints, New York Jets. Those are the other 2 that we know these jobs are going to be vacant. I'm sure there's going to be more. There's going to be competition for these services. If we even have an inkling of wanting to hire Pete Carroll, we need to get him in now. I don't want to compete super heavily if we find out somebody's our guy. So looking at the Bears, 4-11, all alone in the basement of the NFC North. But this roster is so much better than this record indicates. Just a massive blunders during this Thanksgiving game. The Bears fired Matt Eberflus, and now somehow we've gotten worse since then. I don't fully get it. But despite this current nonsense, belief around the league that the Bears are one of the most attractive vacancies for any head coach this offseason. And that's mainly because of number one draft pick this year, rookie quarterback Caleb Williams. He has shown so many flashes, but he needs to have a coach that's going to get everything out of him. And not to mention, you're also looking at Pete Carroll's connections to the University of Southern California. And as you know, that's where Caleb Williams is from. He might have been told some encouraging things about Caleb Williams. Maybe that's why he's interested in the Chicago job. He actually transferred to USC after winning the Heisman in 2022. And we're looking at Carroll's interest in the Chicago's head coaching job. It only solidifies speculation that the Bears job will be in demand this offseason. And now, awful record, the Bears are actually primed to walk away with at least another top 10 pick. It might actually be much better than that. And don't forget, last year, the Bears also selected Rome Odunze in the first round as well. Blue chip assets all over the place. We just need the right leader. And Pete Carroll, his resume, it speaks for itself. This guy's won everywhere he's been. He's known as a player's coach. Excuse me, I'm getting over a cold. And the narrative, it's that the Bears need an offensive-minded coach. That's why the main reason why Brad Johnson, it's starting, if you listen to media reports right now, and maybe they're right. Maybe this should be the choice. He seems almost inevitable as our next head coach right now. But a lot can change. And Pete Carroll's, his name being thrown into the hat, it was something I wasn't expecting. But we're looking at Carroll as a defensive specialist, right? But he's been over successful quarterbacks. He's developed successful quarterbacks, quite a few of them. We're talking like Matt Leinart. We're talking Carson Palmer. We're talking Matt Cassell, but most notably in the pros, Russell Wilson. He thrived in Seattle. And then you've got more ties of Caleb, of course, those championships. They were at USC and would be paired with him, following Caleb likely having almost every franchise Bears rookie record as well. This pairing, this arrow on Caleb Williams is pointing straight up. And man, we've just got to get this hire right. I'm going to close on this subject just here straight from Shefty. So I'm just going to quote him. We will see whether the Bears talk to him, but with the Bears and their head coaching search, the focus is all going to be about finding the right coach to help grow Caleb Williams into the type of quarterback that he can be. It feels like the city of Chicago is pulling for Ben Johnson. I would agree. The Lions offensive coordinator, him winding up in Chicago. Mike Vrabel, his name has come up in connection there. So there's a lot of names that have come up. It is obviously a huge hire that the Bears have, and it's all about the future of Caleb Williams. And I totally agree with all that. We're talking Mike Vrabel. He seems to be the best choice, right? If you're going with a proven winning head coach. But if going that direction, why not interview Pete Carroll? His resume dwarfs that of Mike Vrabel's. The only interesting thing is that he's so old. I don't know if that's that big of an issue. With that being said, you guys let me know what you think in the comments, if he is a guy that we should even sniff around for our next head coach. And let's get to the injury report. The Bears have ruled out 4 players out of tonight's game, and that's left guard Tevin Jenkins with a calf, running back Travis Homer with a hamstring, safeties Elijah Hicks, that's ankle/foot, and Tarvarius Moore with the knee. Now, you're also looking at Doug Kramer Jr., defensive tackle Jervon Dexter, linebacker Amen Ogunbiamaya. I can never get his name right. They're listed as questionable coming into this game. I hope that we have them here playing. That's after a walkthrough on Wednesday for the 3rd straight game. But if it was a regular practice, we're looking at Kramer, Dexter, and Amen. All these guys would have been limited. So we'll see what happens leading up to this game. You're also looking at us having 2 new starters on the left side of this offensive line Thursday. Man, minus Tevin Jenkins, minus Braxton Jones. He was placed on IR Monday. He's got a leg injury he sustained on Sunday versus the Lions. Interim head coach Thomas Brown just let reporters know that was going to require surgery. So not ideal for the game tonight, not at full strength, not optimistic for the outcome. But man, Pete Carroll definitely is a coach that we should at least interview and see what happens. You guys let me know in your comments, and we will talk soon. See ya.